Jambo Sana, Jambo Bingi, welcome to yet another episode of Diaspora Connect. My name is Kenju. This is the 10th edition. Of course, we're doing the Nigerian dinner. We're right here, Cafe Avol on Rene and Holly. So be sure to check this spot out for the best Ethiopian coffee, the best food. This is the spot. And joining me is actually the man himself who is behind the kitchen right there. He's always here, Cafe Avol, Gavin Lopez. Helps a lot with Cafe Avol. So thank you so much for, man, you like the behind the scenes. You're the kind of guy that if you're not there, everybody's gonna know, that something is definitely amiss. So thank you for being on the podcast.
Well, bro, every day is a gift, dog. I can't believe be able to be here in this crowd of these beautiful black and brown faces where I could freely talk and be myself, and then be able to hear your great voice.
Oh man,
every day's a gift.
Thanks, man.
I can't be more excited.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. So Gavin Lopez is a writer too, writing for Seattle Globalist. Let's talk about a bit about your writing career and your journey into writing. How did that start?
That's crazy, because I'm gonna be real right now. So I don't even consider myself a writer. It's still a thing I still gotta grow into, but growing up, I was never very good at English. I was never very passionate about writing. I had a hard time doing it. But I don't know, I was dating this girl and she just sent me this apprenticeship because it was kind of funny. I caught her reading my journal one day, because I journal a lot. Mm-hmm. And I was freaking, I was like, what are you doing? What, this and that. And then she's like, you're such a good writer. Oh my God, you're so talented, this and that. And she sent me this apprenticeship over. And I was like, at the time, I wasn't going to college, so I like being active. I grew up always working. Even when I was in high school, I would go to football practice, and I'd come home for football practice during the summers and go work on the family project. We used to restore houses. So I was just doing demo work, and I'm just used to always being busy, so I wasn't doing any work. So I was just like, okay, you think I'm good, I'm gonna trust in the fact that, trust in what you know, so I'm gonna go shoot it. And then at the time I had a homie who was really big in writing, so I was like, okay, all the pieces in place, I'm gonna go try it.
Yeah.
And then, sure enough, I write my first article, and the editors liked it, they loved it. And then I wrote my second one, and they liked it, and they kept on sending me assignments, and I've never been a person to say no. So I was like, okay, we're gonna just let this roll.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, Cafe Avol is part of I hang out here a lot. Sometimes there's especially in November, I think October is coming here every day.
You kicked it every day, bro. I was every single day, I was oh, I know for a fact I'm gonna see Kenju through that door.
Right. Right. And it's just just amazing how you've been able to, you and Solomon and your team have been able to create a space where you can just come in and be yourself, have conversations with people. How has that been for you, working with, Cafe Avol, of course, with Solomon?
So I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be very honest right now. It's kind of I've been doing what I want since I moved to Seattle. I'm from California, and I'm from the sticks in California. So I'm from this town called Oildale, and it's there's not a lot. Oildale. So that's the part of California nobody gets to see. Mm-hmm. So everybody thinks it's the movies and the beaches, but no, there's little oil towns where people like me grew up in. Yeah. But so there's not a lot to do. So doing anything, being able to be a barista or whatever, that shit's hella cool. The coolest stuff ever. You go home and what, you're over there doing that, this and that. So my standard is very low when it comes to entertainment. Yeah. I can be entertained doing almost nearly anything. Yeah. But I'm telling you, since I kind of been just rolling with the flow since I moved here. My job's always been in coffee. I've never been very passionate in coffee, but it's just it's a job. I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna be my best at it. Mm-hmm. But what mattered was the skills I was learning on top of just coffee. I started to understand that the relationships I would make with customers, and that the fact that customers would come in to see me, I started to see that there was a value in me. Right. So I was oh, you're coming in, you're telling me I'm a good salesman. You're coming here and telling me you pull up just to see me. I'm okay, so that means that you're not here for Starbucks. Right. You're here for me. So I have personal value. So that just kept on growing, and I imagined a place where I was it'd be great if I could just pull up and find someone who owns a business, who would just let me just jump on ship and like just run the business with them and be able to for it to be like this Pan-African theme and like make sure my people always get the dollars and I'm not making no money but except for like my community and like but the issue was that I'm not African. I don't got any of those connections. I don't want to start a brand. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. But so it's kind of funny. The thing with Solomon is I always heard his name. People would tell me to go meet him, and I finally pulled up this one time because the homie Henry put me on. And I pulled up and I just walk in. And it was crazy because when I met Solomon, it was like, oh man, it's weird because like I feel like I know you. I've seen you around before. It's like almost like you've been the homie I was like looking for. So like since I met him, it's been 110 miles per hour. Like
I always see that kindred like connection between what's your biggest takeaway so far in terms of like you coming in and where you are right now? What has been your biggest takeaway in terms of like values and just like improving yourself or whatever whatever's on the table for you?
Well, when I moved to Seattle, I always had the mindset that man, I just want to, like I had like 3 things I really wanted. I wanted to, first off, I just wanted to grow. Like I went to college for a year and I was living in Bakersfield. And I felt like I was the same person that I was when I graduated high school. And that was like the most frustrating experience because it's like, what's even the point of me going to college and like studying all day and like I still feel like it's the same. So it's crazy. I just had a dream one night and I was like, I gotta get out of here. So, I had cousins that lived down the street, so, they let me stay with them for a few months, and since then, I just had to fend for myself. But the biggest takeaway is, what was the question again?
What's your biggest takeaway so far? Like, what has been that one
The biggest
thing?
takeaway, yeah. So, there you go. I had the mentality that I just wanted to grow. Every single day, I was like, man, as long as I get better than like yesterday, I'm fine.
So you stepped out of your comfort zone from Bakersfield.
But the thing is, though, in being in Bakersfield, because I was the only black person in my neighborhood. I was always the only black person. So, like, I always grew up being isolated like that. Like, people wouldn't play with me. I couldn't make friends. Always thought I was weird and all this stuff. But so that's my other thing was like I wanted growth. I wanted communityship. And like that was like the only things I was just seeking. So like as long as I had a community or someone supporting me along the way, like I knew I was gonna be fine. So like, I grew every day, and like the more that I just challenged myself, because I was always uncomfortable. I lived my whole life uncomfortable. I grew up in poverty and all that. I was black, but my parents were Mexican. So that was uncomfortable for them to raise me, because they're like, what, because most of my young childhood, I thought I was Mexican. I thought I was Mexican. I was like, that's all the people I kick with. That's the food I eat. I hear Spanish every day. So. But I grew up in America, so that became an issue real young, where like kids will start pointing out, teachers wouldn't treat me well and all that. It was shocking when with the globalists and how like I won an award with the globalists, but it was shocking for me because like I don't
talk about the award that you won with globalists.
I don't win awards.
Right.
You're right. I don't win awards.
Yeah.
So they gave me the Youth Journalist of the Year. And that was just
congratulations,
brother.
Congratulations.
Appreciate that. So man, that was just shocking for me because I remember just growing up, I was like being frustrated because I was like, man, I'm getting grades just as good as these other kids. I'm doing this and that. Like, why am I not being recognized? Why am I not getting the same type of recognition or love? Like, what is it?
Right.
So being over here where like things are a little bit more fair play, like I just got the attitude where I'm just here to work, and like it's been a blessing. So I'm just very grateful and be able to be here and have this opportunity. Like I'm in front of a camera now. Wow, I got bright lights. Like what? It's
Diaspora
crazy.
Connect, baby.
Hey. People in Kenya gonna see this. What? Oh wow.
I'll teach you some Swahili real quick.
Swahili? I'm bad with the tones and my tongue doesn't really work.
Maybe just like...
I don't even speak Spanish. It's embarrassing. I can't do it.
Maybe quick words. It's Asante Sana. Is that too hard? Asante?
Man.
Go for it.
Come on, Gavin.
I feel it. Let me
won
feel
an
it.
award, bro.
Well, so translate it for me so I know.
Asante Sana is thank you.
Oh, okay. So I gotta feel that thank you. See, the thing about English, this is why I get away with stuff, because I can say anything, and like it don't mean nothing to me because it's English.
Yeah.
But when you speak like these African languages or even Spanish, it's just like, okay.
It comes from the...
Because the stomach, the chest, I was like, okay, all right.
Asante.
Sana.
There you go. Alrighty. Last words to anybody that, what's your words of advice to anybody that's trying to improve their life? There are people who are trying to be better versions of themselves. Like, what would be your advice to?
Listen to your moms. Like, straight up that. Listen to your moms and grandma and any women that like had any type of beef with you, like just listen to that and like eat it and then move on, because that's for the best. Because that's the thing that that's just lacks, and just in general is the fact that I'm blessed because I have very strong women figures in my family, and I don't even bullshit. Like my family probably watch this and they'll laugh at it, but like I seen like especially my grandma. My grandma went to college at the age of like 36. Graduated when she was like 40, and then now she's like the longest tenured teacher in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And I grew up in a majority white neighborhood. Like the story of my family, where like when they first moved to this neighborhood, and the first thing they saw living in this neighborhood was the Ku Klux Klan rally at the local park of the elementary school. And then my grandma got a 20-year pension from that same elementary school. And not only just that, she taught English to the entire community because there's a large immigrant population where I'm from. So so I was able to see that impact at a young age, where I was like, yeah, you're talking shit about me and all this and making fun of me, but like, my grandma uplifted this community. Wow. So like she was the most educated person. So like I seen that. I got to see that. So. Like, yeah, man, you just gotta listen to the women in your life, because like that's the easiest road to success. Like, yeah.
I don't get any shout from the women in the building. Yeah. Thank you. I celebrate you, brother. I celebrate you. Appreciate you. Thank you for all you do. Gavin has been very instrumental in terms of like putting their whole nights together. Being a wonderful host. You probably never get to see him, but if he's not around, things don't happen. So thank you, Gavin, for all that you do. Celebrate you, appreciate you. Thank you for being on Diaspora Connect. And for you guys at home, be sure to subscribe to One Vibe TV on YouTube. Follow us at One Vibe Africa on all social media platforms. Follow me, that. Official Kenju, Instagram, Twitter, and all other social media platforms. Thank you so much. It's yet another episode of Diaspora Connect. Adios, amigos. Thank you.
Sometimes I go out on myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things what you don't. And in my head I play a picture. Well, since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I'm just so